Welcome, everyone, to another podcast episode of Beyond Your Circumstance. Again, we have another great episode lined up for you, and I have another special guest. Her name is Caley Rose. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She's a Billboard charting artist and motivational speaker, an empowering pop singer and songwriter whose music has been featured on top 40 radio, TV commercials, and film. And after being severely bullied in middle school, Kaylee dedicated her life to finding her own self-esteem and to empowering women and students to discover their own. She created her Music with a Message program to bring confidence to your audience of kids, teens, and women, and by using the power of music. She also regularly partners with women's and children's charities across the country. So I want to welcome Caley Rose. How are you
Hello.
doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yes, of course. It's my pleasure. So, here on Beyond Your Circumstance, we speak with other moms who have gone through things in their life and how they overcome their challenges. And in your bio alone, we have so much to dive
We're
into.
done. We don't need to say anything now.
Hopefully, we can get it in the 30 minutes
Bio
of
covered it.
podcast. But I'm going to let you take it away if you can tell us a little more about you and then go into the message you have for us today.
So, yeah, I've been a singer my whole life. I've been a songwriter for 6 years. And then 2 years ago, I could tell that a lot of young women were gravitating toward my music. They were reaching out to me online. And that felt really special. And then I started to think about how when I was in middle school, I was bullied and I had zero confidence for over a decade. I mean, I hated myself. And now you talk to me and it's surprising because I worked so hard at my confidence. But I'm very, very proud to be able to get on stages and feel confident and really love myself now. But it truly was not always like that. It was dark and bleak. And I didn't want students, women and men, to go through that on their own. So I started imperfectly before I could let myself get in my own way. I started reaching out to schools where I knew teachers and students and asking them if I could come in and share my story and share my own tips for building self-confidence and share my empowering music. And those things went really well together. And then it just started snowballing, and I could see people leaning in and excited about it. And now, I'm so passionate about self-confidence and building that through music. So it's this school assembly. I come in and I share my own story. I share my music, and now I have my methods for building self-confidence, which I co-designed with some amazing leading child and teen psychologists.
Oh, great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Been
I've
a lot of
already
fun.
heard some of your music, which is
Thank you.
beautiful. Love it so
Thank
much.
you
One
so
of the things
much.
that I'm curious about is you're in this beautiful background, traveling. Um,
Yes.
how are you managing still working in your business, working in this program while
Mm.
still, managing motherhood and you have a little one
Yes.
with you and traveling?
Yes.
That seems like a
Yes.
lot, right?
It is. It certainly is. Every day is different in our world. My husband is incredibly supportive. He also works from home, but there are difficult days where we have to juggle together, and there are a lot of logistics involved, which I do not enjoy. And now I definitely understand why artists who have labels have tour managers and booking agents to do that part of it, because I would like to just show up and perform and not have to worry about the logistics. But yeah, we have to powwow a lot about how the schedule for the day is going. I also work in voiceover and I voice commercials regularly. So I'll be like, okay, Tuesday at 1 p.m. I need you to take Sienna. Do you have any meetings? And now we have another baby coming. So we're probably going to have to hire someone. It was definitely easier when my daughter was in preschool, but living on the road, she is not able to be in preschool. And that's a decision that we made. But yeah, we're enjoying it. And there are a lot of benefits, but the challenges are new and vast as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Can only
Yeah.
imagine. I mean, I have three at
Yeah.
home,
I
and
don't know how you do it.
it
Figure
is
that out.
it is a challenge and something that I want to share, which I mean, I was going to ask you as well. There are days where I may feel down or my confidence isn't up like it should. It's funny because it's like waves.
Yeah.
There's days when I'm like, oh, I'm on it. I'm great. I'm doing it. I
Yeah.
can, make an impact and everything like that. And then there's
Yeah.
days like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
How do I think I can impact people's lives and change things around
Absolutely.
and stuff? So for you, have you had those moments as well where? It's like up and
Yeah.
down.
I think the correct question may be how many times a day. Yeah, I think, fear shows itself in so many different forms. It can show itself as imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
perfectionism, which is my own personal favorite because I think it's the sexiest kind of fear. Because it's like, listen to me, I'll get you perfect, and then I'll let you do those things you want to do, and it's never going to let you. Stage fright, that's another form of
Mm.
fear, and self doubt in all its many forms. And it happens to me, of course, on the regular. And I'm trying to do more and more bold and daring things. And now, like, I'm going live on TikTok every single day and I'm singing and I'm trying to empower people and motivate them. And I still have online trolls come in there. And it's just like, wow, like I have done so much work and I'm finally a grown up. And like, there are, probably these like punks, I don't know how old they are, but they're not nice. And they come in the comments. But me, even just 5 years ago, 4 years ago, would have curled up into a ball and taken those comments to heart.
Mm.
But now I really do. I'm proud of my music. So if you say something against it, I'm like, okay, it's just not for you. Where when I didn't actually like my music, it felt like people were saying things that I thought were true, my deepest fears. So
Mm.
that's one way. I've really finally come to understand that only hurt people, and that has helped me because again, old me, curled into a ball. New me is like, wow, this person must really be going through something if they need to reach out and lash out in that way. So, I'll say, and I don't always look at like, oh, are you okay? Because you
Mm.
felt like you needed to say that and hurt someone else, and only hurt people. So, like, what's going on today? And they don't always respond in kind, but it's a much healthier place for me to come from. And I would also say, to address those down moments and those fears, finally aligning with my purpose to help other people has helped so much more. You and I both have an amazing mentor in Jen Gottlieb, and her statement, help one person every day, hope, has really helped me.
Yeah.
Because when I was feeling perfectionism and stage fright, to appear on TV my first time a year ago and play my music, the day before I almost self-sabotaged it. And like, you work toward these things, you want these goals and these, you aspire, and then fear comes in and it's going to ruin it for you. And that's exactly what was happening for me. I let my perfectionism get in the way, and then I was in like such a bad mood because I couldn't find the perfect outfit. It was ridiculous.
Mm.
But then I finally thought of the help one person every day, and I realized, you know what, it's actually not about me. I am the vessel. Of course I want to feel good and look good when I'm there and sound good, but it's actually not about any of that. I just want to reach one person with this song tomorrow. And that changed my thinking for the better and got me out of my head and got me away from self-doubt in that way.
Mm.
And I did reach one person and probably more, and that's the benefit there. So I clearly have a lot to say on that topic. I could keep
Oh,
going.
yeah. No,
There
that's
are so many ways. And like one more thing, I keep a list now, which I got from Dax Shepard. Did you ever listen to his podcast, Armchair Expert?
oh, I know who it
I
is, but
didn't,
I haven't.
yeah, I didn't think I had any interest in that man. And then I was like looking up Kristen Bell stuff, and I realized that they were married. And then I was listening to interviews with her, and it was him interviewing her. And then I got super into, he's just a very self-effacing, self-evolving person, and he's so incredible. And he's like an anthrop major, and he's just very intelligent. And he's formerly an alcoholic. I don't know the correct term, but he said that when he's feeling really down, he has a literal list of things that make him feel better. And then he'll go down it and he'll say, did I exercise today? Did I eat healthy? Did I call someone I love? Have I gotten a hug? Have I been outside in nature? And if he hasn't done those things, he'll do them and see how he's feeling. So my life changed when I took an active role in my happiness.
Hmm.
I can't, like, I know that I need to get outside every day. And during COVID, I said to my husband, you know that I need to get outside every day. Like, why don't you plan, like special surprises and take us outside? And it was just like, how ridiculous is that? No, it's my job to make myself happy. It's nice when our partner or a friend or a loved one can surprise us or, think of nice things. But at the end of the day, it really is our job to make ourselves happy as long as we're not hurting someone else?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that was a lot.
Oh, that's great.
I'm
One
like, yeah, I want to get this.
one thing that popped in my head, for those of you that have heard the beginning of the podcast, I spoke about my own story, and I'm not going to go crazy into it again. But one of the things that was like crucial, pivotal for where I am today was
Mm,
the healing that I had to go through from past traumas.
yes.
And so for you, you said you had gone through bullying and
Mm,
now you're in a total different space, which is awesome. You can even see it on your face, how you speak.
yeah.
And I want to know that like transition from like down, I'm, stuck where you were at, feeling all
Yeah.
the things that you're feeling when you were bullied. Like what really changed for you to be able to
Yeah.
start that journey of healing and
Yeah.
growing?
For me, it happened kind of in leaps almost, like steps. It wasn't like one moment. It was, waking up at like, I don't know, 23 after college and just it occurring to me, oh, this is actually the youngest I'm ever going to be because every day I get older. And
Right.
people say it's the best looking I'm ever going to get because I'm 20 something. And wouldn't it be, and like, I hate myself right now. So that doesn't bode well for the future. And so then I really started studying, going to therapy, doing journaling, meditating, and like doing the thing that people who said they were happy were doing, because it's so interesting that it ends up being similar answers and eating healthier and trying to, like, the most important thing was studying self confidence and self love and trying to understand what it meant and how to get there, and therapy, of course. And then I remember when I started songwriting just 6 years ago, maybe like a year and a half into it, maybe 2 years, let's say 4 years ago, not that long ago, I had a co-writer come over, my friend, the artist Peaches XX Cream, who did That Chick with me and Lila Like It. And he was in my songwriting class and he had seen how confident I
Mhm.
like everybody thought I was confident because I was never shy to raise my hand and ask questions and volunteer answers because I was so passionate about songwriting. And then he came to my house and we had a couple conversations. And at one point he said, "Oh, you're not confident. I thought you were, but you really are not." And I was like, "Yeah, I know." Like, so we can't write a really confident pop song because it won't feel authentic.
Mm.
And that was just a couple years ago. And so we wrote That Chick, which is like the work in progress song. It's all like, I want to be like Cardi, I want to be like Lizzo, but I'm not yet, and I'm working on it. And then through the process of really saying, okay, I want to like who I am again, it's like this lesson that I gotta keep learning because I do think life, if we don't learn it, it's gonna give us the lesson again. I thought I
Yeah.
learned it at 20 something, clearly not. And then finally, I started making choices that I realized I wanted to like myself. And how do we like ourselves? I don't know. We make decisions that we're proud of. We stay aligned with our values.
Mm.
We get educated on the things that we care about so we can speak knowledgeably on those things. We like our bodies. We treat our bodies well. It's
Yeah.
so many factors. I wish it was one answer, right? Because I would want to give that to every child and woman I talk to.
Mhm.
But it's so many factors and it's a journey. But really, I
Right.
really can say I like myself now. I love myself now. And for me, I had to work to self like through self gratitude. And then I could work to self love. Because when you hate yourself, which I hated myself, I wanted to be anybody other than myself. Everyone was making the better decisions than I was. I thought I was fat and ugly and all of these things because self love felt so far away because I was in self hatred. And so it felt impossible. So I had to build to self like and self acceptance and then finally get to self love.
Yeah. One of the things
Yeah.
that I say to my audience who are looking for losing weight is
Uh,
in the past, I used to diet and exercise like crazy because I hated
mhm.
myself. And it's like
Absolutely.
now eat the right foods, nourish my
Uh,
body the right way, move my body the right way because I love myself. It's a total different
yeah.
perspective on why
That's so
you're doing it and
beautiful.
what the outcome is going to be in the end. And that's
Yeah.
why we find ourselves in these cycles that we keep
Yeah.
backward and keep trying to go forward, but then we go backward and it's like,
Oh, yeah.
no, it's not a fun ride to be
That's
on.
No, I mean, yeah, I was there too. I would overwork out in college. Like I would, drink and binge drink and eat cheese fries at 4 a.m. And then I even remember, like, I don't know if we were pre-gaming. I remember being slightly tipsy on an elliptical because I felt so ashamed. And just like, are you kidding, girl? But there was a gym on our floor in our dorm because we lived on the 16th floor in New York in EC. And I was able to just walk down the hall and get on that elliptical. And I remember being like, this is a weird thing that I'm doing, being a little tipsy on elliptical, but I was struggling to lose weight and like myself in that way.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, like, so overdoing it on cardio did not work for me.
Um,
And then I would binge. And then I would not as often as binging purge, but every once in a while it was purge because I was a singer, and so I was worried about ruining my vocal cords, but I would purge every once in a while. And then, of course, what finally worked was the healthy eating and the loving myself and treating
Yeah.
myself, the body as a temple, and all of that stuff. And it's so crazy because, like, you hear these answers, but also, have you ever read? There's a book by Bethany Frankel, of all people, and it was about her own eating disorder and her own unhealthy thoughts about food. Have you ever read it?
No, I haven't.
It changed a lot of things for me. I can't think of the title for the life of me, but she was just so frank, haha, about the way she talked about her relationship with food and so honest and open. And I related to a lot of what she was saying. Then at one point she said, it's not love and it's not something that you should hate or feel ashamed about. It is just food. And that really helped me. And so many other things that she said really helped me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the healthier mind too, because I wasn't depressed and like feeding my emotions anymore. They all go hand in hand, right?
No, they absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny because you mentioned like similar things, like when you're in the midst of some sort of storm, right? Something that you're going through, we like
Hmm.
turn to these unhealthy habits because we think either it's a solution or we're a
Yeah.
coping mechanism, you know?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so, and it's the same way for like other addictions in our life too, you know?
Hmm.
Food,
Totally.
alcohol, any other addiction,
Yeah.
right? It's the same thing. It's a way to fill a hole, a way to
Yes.
fill a void. And obviously, it's not the right thing to do. It's not the right way, but it's kind of like what is around us, like what we've either grown up to see,
Yeah.
society, what we see on TV, like all
Yeah.
these different influences. And one thing that I love to preach is to
Yes.
protect your channels. Your channels are what you hear, what you watch, what you say. Like
Ah.
protect those things because the things that come in are
Yeah.
most likely going to be the things that are going to start coming out little by little.
Absolutely.
And so if we can protect that, life can get a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Little by
I'm
little, we have
even
to work on that.
Totally. I'm even trying to like get up in the morning and meditate before I look at my phone because I will dive into work the minute I'm like, oh, I got to respond to this email, you
Mhm.
know? So I'm trying to look at my phone last right in the morning because nobody really needs me at 6 a.m., you know, and like preserve what I input in the morning,
Right.
you know, and instead journal and meditate and talk with my family. And then I'll finally open my phone. So I'm trying to get to that level of controlling the input, like you're saying.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and before I used to think when I used to hear the concept of like mindset shifts and
Yeah.
manifestation and this and that, right? I used to think it was just like crap,
Mumbo
like
jumbo. Yeah.
yeah, like mindset stuff, like how's that gonna
Yeah.
fix my problem, right?
Totally.
But then
Yeah.
when you actually just take a leap of faith,
Yeah.
start doing it,
Yeah.
you see the changes. Like now I have a
Absolutely.
morning routine and I can't do
Yeah.
without that morning routine. You
What's
know,
your morning routine now? I want to know.
oh, I get up and I teach a workout class for my clients. That's 6
Nice.
a.m. Then I do my devotion and prayer. Then I do devotion with my kids. And then we get breakfast started. I'll
Uh,
get them settled for school first, and then I'll have my shower after that. So that's all
Beautiful.
my routine. And I try to
So
do
you
like
get up like two
affirmations.
hours before they get up? Drives you?
Yes. But so my kiddos still will climb into my bed in the middle of the
Hey. Oh yeah.
night, no matter what.
That's
So I have to sneak out of the bed with them around me. And then
oh
I
my
come
goodness.
downstairs, and on some good days, I can get
Yeah.
the workout done without them waking up. But a lot
Hey.
of times they're awake with me because if they don't feel me in the bed, they're like, oh, where's mom?
Aw. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because have been wanting, I have fallen off my cardio train and like it's been a while. Like, because we were renovating this and we were so focused on renovating the Airstream, and I just made that the priority. And then once we took off, it's been a lot packing up and going and doing the logistics of travel. But this morning I was like, I am doing cardio. And then I woke up and I meditated instead because I was like, well, if I climb over my husband, like he's sick right now, he's going to wake up. If I tiptoe past my daughter. So it is, you know, living in this confined space, it
Hmm.
is a little, we hear, you know, everyone do everything and the creaks and the cracks.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I meditated and then I did get my workout in because I also think, you know, and like I love what Jen says, confidence is honoring the commitments that you have made to yourself. You know,
Right.
if you end your day and you're like, I said I was going to do that and I did it, it feels really good. We don't
Mhm.
want to get And this is what I talk with students and educators about. It's a little bit dangerous to get so into the achievement side of confidence, right? Because then we're overachievers or then we're obsessed with achieving.
Mhm.
But it does help, right? So I see a lot of things around us as confidence tools,
Right.
like putting on your favorite shirt versus putting on a shirt that's rumpled and dirty on the floor. You're gonna feel different. And like sometimes I'll put makeup on and I go live on Instagram or TikTok, and I, for a while, was like, oh, is that sending the wrong message? Because our beauty industry has given people, all these bad notions.
Mhm.
But I think we have tools available to us. If we don't want to use them, that's fine. But if we do and it puts a little pep in our step, it's just like putting on your favorite shirt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I had a coach tell me when I needed to be a little more confident, like when I got on calls with people,
Hmm.
to have like a Wonder Woman stance, like just
Oh,
get in a
yeah.
Wonder Woman stance, put on some music that's gonna like
Yep.
get you up, and then get into the call.
It's scientifically proven by Harvard. So, in one of my songs, Fireproof, I have the kids do power pose choreography, and we talk about how holding your body in confident ways informs your mind, and vice versa. Your mind informs your body. Because if I'm feeling down, I'm certainly not going to look like Wonder Woman. But yeah, I teach them that, and it's really fun to do the choreography to that song. And it's another tool, and I think it feels a little fake it till you make it. Like I have another song that's all affirmations. And so we sing that together. And sometimes it feels weird looking in a mirror and saying, I am strong, I am this. But eventually, those thoughts do get to a place where they're just ingrained in you and you really believe them. And it's so funny to me, like now that I've been doing more self improvement work and studying with coaches, like you were saying, I sometimes will say things on rote, but just habitually. And I'm like, oh, I totally got that from Jen and Chris. And like, it's so great that that made its way so deeply into who I am that now it just comes out of my mouth like it's second nature because I believe it so fully. So I do think that it's a combination of the affirmations and the mindset work and all of these different things to help us. It's not one thing. Wouldn't it be great if it was?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, just
That's
take
so
this
true.
little.
One of the things that I kind of really focus on is confidence. I lacked that my whole life, basically.
Same.
What I've found is that when we are able to really channel that confidence, just so many things, just it's like a breakthrough. So many things
Mhm.
are easier or better, or you feel good about yourself, or you're able to do the things that you thought you couldn't do or wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's like when you have that confidence, it
Hmm.
makes all the difference.
Totally.
And so that's one of my things in my coaching program is to
Yeah.
not only shed the fat, but shine with confidence.
Yes, because it affects every area of our life. That's why I'm so passionate about bringing confidence into schools. Because if I had had that class, if someone had taught me about my mindset and the thoughts and my mental dialogue, it would have changed my life. But I was cramming for art history dates. I went to Columbia, an Ivy League school, and like you would think that I would have been a little better equipped for like the real world. But I was like, okay, 1975, this painting, and not to knock education or an Ivy League education or anything, but wouldn't it have been great if we had had confidence classes and
Ah,
mental health classes and so many things? And schools are doing a much better job now with social emotional learning, and that's wonderful. So yeah, I just want to play a part in that and help kids learn how to build up their self confidence and protect them from the thoughts that bullies might try to put in their head, right? Because bullies are trying to get us to believe something that's negative about us. So, like those online trolls that troll me, hopefully we can have a healthy mind to protect ourselves.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So one more thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to confidence is our own
Mm.
children. And
Yes.
I homeschool my kids. And one thing
Uh,
that I noticed so far, especially my oldest twin, but
yeah.
there is one older, by 1 minute, but I noticed in him when we were doing writing, he was like really getting down on himself. He was crying because he couldn't make the letters perfect. He wanted it to be perfect. And he was
Yeah.
really getting worked up inside. And as a mom, like that hurt me. Like I felt like, why do you feel like you have to be perfect?
Yeah.
We make
That's awful.
mistakes, right? We make mistakes, but we
Yep.
just try and try and try again. And little by little things
Yeah.
improve when we try and try again. So I had to have like a little lesson with him to have grace on himself and not have
That's
this
amazing.
expectation to feel like he has to either, I don't know if it was an expectation that he thought I was having on him. I hope it wasn't. I didn't think I was, but
Mm,
like, I don't know why he felt it had to be perfect.
yeah.
His confidence is shot. Like he's not confident that he can do this. Just kind of like being in tuned. Like we went through our own things where we didn't have our
Yeah,
confidence and we didn't have
totally.
knowledge and all this kind of stuff. But like now, as we're raising our children, how we can
Yes,
uplift them and help them to feel confident as well.
absolutely. Did that help having that talk with him and that little lesson and growth
It
mindset
did.
and making mistakes? Yeah.
It did, but he just has that little perfectionism in him.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
Gets
I do
really
think some
upset if it's
things were
not right.
hardwired. Yeah, we're wired to be certain ways, whether it's in our genetic code or, nature and nurture and all of those things. But you're doing the right things by talking to him about it, and growth mindset will help him in that way of, actually making mistakes is how we learn. I like to talk to the middle schoolers and high schoolers about like study the mistakes of the greats, because Michael Jordan has not made every basket.
Mhm.
Idina Menzel was talking on that Armchair Expert podcast I love, and she was saying how when she was at New Year's Eve in Times Square, she like famously missed this note. She was a little off on Let It Go, and so many people attacked her for it. And I'm not saying go do that, obviously, be kind, but it's fascinating to see because we herald these people. Someone said about Idina Menzel, it's like her landing a triple axel. It doesn't happen all the time. It happened for that one recording. Maybe it happens a handful of times, but she doesn't need to be perfect every time to be great.
Yeah.
Um, we're
Yeah.
all humans. We all make mistakes, and like I talked to my little brother about like, oh, this time I danced in front of my husband and I accidentally tooted, like, so the more we share as adults, because like, don't you remember thinking that adults were superheroes and they had all the answers? I
Mhm.
kind of wonder if I'm going the other way with my daughter, because I'm like, guess what mistake I made today, and I'm like, certainly sharing them, but I want her to feel safe and like I know what I'm doing. But when we went down this path on the beach the other day, we shouldn't have gone. I was like, mommy made a big mistake, but I kept you safe the whole time and I will always keep you safe. And that is my job. So I hope in sharing our mistakes, they will feel more comfortable in sharing theirs.
Yeah,
So we're doing
absolutely.
all the right things. Yeah.
Be transparent with them as much as possible.
Yeah.
For
So
me,
hard. And like, we're obviously going to do something wrong. My best hope for my daughter is that she's in therapy about something I did, because she'll be in therapy, you know?
yeah, yeah, definitely. For me growing up, my mom didn't really share her mistakes. So I
Oh,
had
no.
this
Yeah.
kind of image of like, oh, my parents are perfect.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want my kids to think I'm perfect because I'm not.
Nope. No, we're
I
all
made
humans.
mistakes tons of times. Another
Yeah.
thing that I see is a thief of confidence is comparison.
Oh, yeah.
Comparing yourself to other people and seeing why you're not like
Absolutely.
them or why you're not where they are and all that kind of stuff. That can be really rob your joy
Absolutely.
and confidence.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
right.
We're
It's
all on
just,
our own journeys.
we are.
But it's
And then,
also, we invite that in by comparing. We start that mental train, so we could just gotta stop it before it starts, and realize that person clearly is not perfect. But if we have something that person wants, it's good to realize that, because that jealousy can act like a north star and show us, oh well, that person wrote a book. Maybe I want to write a book, and so that it can be helpful, the
right.
comparing. Like, I remember I have reels of my assembly, and I used to do hosting and like interview celebrities, and I saw this girl who was ahead of the game and me, and she had this beautiful hosting reel. Guess what I did that day for work? All I did was perfect mine, so I use it as motivation instead of getting down
Yeah,
on yourself. But
right.
yes, feel your feelings, let your feelings come out, but then let it motivate you and use it as a north star.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah.
Love it, love it,
Yeah.
love it. Well, we have
Yeah.
come to the end of our episode. We could talk more and more, but
I know.
right now, I usually at the end of the episode, I allow you to share with the audience if there's any way they can reach you or know more about you,
Yeah.
your program, the music with the message.
Yes.
So take the
Yes. So if you're listening and not watching, it's Caley, Roses in the flower. Caley, roses in the flower. Because my name is Kaylee, everyone thinks it's the letter K. It is
Mhm.
not. But if you want to learn more about music with a message, we are bringing it all across the country. Someday I want to be able to say all across the world. And I would love to bring confidence to your audience of kids, teens, and women. And also, we're looking for corporate sponsors right now because a lot of schools can't afford me getting on a plane and bringing instruments to them. So I would love to find corporate sponsors in that way. And you can find my music everywhere. Caley, roses in the flower. Spotify, Apple Music, all the places.
That's awesome. And
Thank
you're live
you.
on TikTok, right?
Oh yeah, every day I'm going live on TikTok, taking requests and singing. It's been really fun to like get to know people more in that way. So yeah, find me there. Oh, and on TikTok it's Caley Rose Music. That's the only
Ah.
one where I don't have at Caley Rose. I'm really trying to get that handle, but you'll find me. I am searchable.
And your name's unique too. I've never
Yeah,
seen a Kaylee with a C-A-L-E.
yeah, for better or worse.
Cool.
Thank you so much for having me, Steph.
Yes, this was awesome. I'm really happy that you came along as I asked
Yeah,
you to come on to the episode.
yeah,
And
yeah.
this was a great conversation. I
I
really
agree.
enjoyed it. Hey guys, what a great conversation we had with Caley Rose. We explored the profound journey from facing bullying and self-doubt to discovering strength and confidence through music. Her story is a testament to the power of finding one's voice and purpose amidst adversity, echoing the biblical call. In Joshua 1:9, let me tell you, it says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That's amazing to be strong and courageous. How many of us, many times in our walk, in being a parent, in maybe running a business, or even just trying to accomplish certain things, our dreams, we don't feel that strength. We don't feel courageous. Often we're filled with self-doubt, fear, and lack of confidence for sure. But the scripture serves as a divine reminder that we are not alone in our struggles. And just as Kaylee found solace and empowerment in creating music that uplifts and strengthens others, this verse encourages us to face our fears and challenges with courage, knowing that God is with us in every moment. It reassures that our battles are not fought in isolation, and with faith, we can overcome any obstacles. I love, there's a song we sing, the battle belongs to the Lord. We're not meant to do this alone. Not at all. And it just feels so much more freeing when we can surrender that to Him. Applying Joshua 1:9 to our lives, especially as women and mothers, striving to live out our purpose, underscores the importance of treating ourselves and our bodies with respect, love, and kindness. Ooh, I can attest to that I don't always speak to myself with kindness, especially when times are tough, especially when I'm feeling down, especially when the enemy is speaking in my ear and I'm filled with fear. But we need to bring it back, bring it back. We are His children, so therefore we should speak to ourselves in that manner. This verse also speaks to the need to shield our hearts. I spoke about protecting your channels, the things that are around us, the negativity, fostering an environment where courage and confidence can flourish. Kaylee's dedication to empowering students and women through her music beautifully illustrates how embracing our God-given talents and passions can not only heal our own wounds, but also inspire and uplift those around us. Her journey from pain to empowerment serves as a powerful example of how, with God's guidance, we can transcend our circumstances and emerge stronger, ready to make positive impact on the world. That's so important. You see, what I'm doing today and every day here on this podcast, in my business, as I work with women transforming their bodies, but also their minds, the main goal for me is to make an impact. And so that it can be this catapult effect where they can make an impact and they can make an impact and it can go on for generations and generations. I want to build strong, confident, courageous women in this world. Let this episode, enriched by the wisdom of Joshua 1:9, inspire you to be strong and courageous in your own journey, to embrace your purpose with confidence. and to remember that you are never alone in your quest for fulfillment and happiness. I leave those words with you. Be encouraged. Keep seeking out your purpose, your identity in Christ, what you are meant to be and do. Yes, we are moms, and that's such a great purpose. It's one of the biggest things that we were meant to do in this life. But what greater impact can you make? It starts in the home, but it starts with you. So be encouraged, and I can't wait for you to come back for another episode of Beyond Your Circumstance. Thanks, guys, for listening. Bye.